Enid Buzz E-Talk is filmed weekly at 580 Coffee House at 122 East Randolph and out at Oakwood Mall. Stop by every day from 11 to 1 for 50 cents off your first drink. 580 Coffee House downtown in Oakwood Mall.
Welcome to Enid Buzz E-Talk, our third episode where we buzz about community events and hot topics and talk to local celebrities. And we are here at 580 Coffee House where we film our show weekly due to their graciousness. And they're located at 122 East Randolph downtown and also in Oakwood Mall. Hey guys, welcome to episode 3.
Hey Curtis.
Look, there's no snow.
No.
And like
this is we're talking about frozen stuff and school issues. We got none of those right now.
What is the temperature? I'm going to look at
72.
the temperature.
72 degrees, I just looked.
Our last episode, it was kind of freezing and there was ice that we were talking about hadn't melted for 10 months. And
that was just a week ago too.
Yeah.
Just a week ago. It's crazy. Oklahoma.
Living in Oklahoma. So anyway, I know there are hot topics that we probably don't want to touch on right now, but how about we start a new thing on our E-Talk program where we do some birthday shout-outs. Todd,
hey!
Do you have some birthday shout-outs for us?
Yeah. Coming up this week, and I just got these off my Facebook. So
okay.
You guys need to bring them too, because I know
they're shout-outs.
Please, on our Facebook page, start on the post that we talk about E-Talk, list your birthdays, and we will do birthday shout-outs if you'll post them on the Facebook page.
Brent Pollard, happy birthday! Joy Sue, Carmel Shook. We went to school with
Carmel,
her.
I know Carmel.
Yeah, Randy Maxey, and this guy named Brent Lynch. Bert's having a birthday.
Well, happy birthday. So, birthday shout-outs from the group at E-Talk, and today we're going to be talking to Amber Fitzgerald with Enid Public Schools. And I guess we will take a break and come back and we'll have Amber here.
Welcome to Miles Music. The Miles family has been specializing in new and used pianos, organs, guitars, and digital keyboards for almost 50 years. They're more than just a local business, with a customer base in 44 states and 14 countries. Miles Music is the place if you're looking for vintage Hammond organs, Leslie speakers, or Roland digital equipment. If it's a beautiful grand piano you want, well, look no further, because Miles Music has new and used grand pianos of all kinds and for every budget. So come on down to 1016 West Broadway here in Enid, or call Kip himself at 237-0910.
And we're back. We've got Amber Fitzgerald, the Director of HR and Communications at Enid Public Schools. She is going to answer a few questions. We wanted to start off with the hot topic that's going on really in social media with all of the school closing, shenanigans and all of that stuff. Can you, I think I had asked you guys online, can you kind of explain the guidelines or what the decisions are that factor in when you close school?
Absolutely. Isn't it hard to believe? It was 70 degrees outside.
It's crazy.
And
we're not worrying about it now, but we were.
Yes.
Exactly.
But that's our great state. So that's a wonderful thing about living in Oklahoma. But it's a very good question, because when we close school, it impacts so many people, not just our 7,800 students, but their families, their employers. So often there are questions, concerns, and definitely we understand why it impacts a lot of people. Really what we have to do is look at the overall picture of student safety. Are the streets safe? What are the campuses like? Making sure that the buses can get where they need to get. We also have to take into consideration things like children who might not have heat at home, where school is a safe place for them to be and they receive their breakfast and their lunch. So really we have to look at all of those factors to make the decision about what is best for student safety.
Just a quick one on that. Do you ever do half days? Because I know some places don't just open late or something. Like past couple ones, the roads have been, we got most of the snow at night. Mm-hmm. And if it would have been a couple hours.
I was going to say, several schools opened an hour late.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like Enid Public Schools do that very often. Is that kind of more of a hassle than anything?
Traditionally, we haven't. I never say never, just because you never know what the circumstances are going to be. Traditionally, it's difficult for families because they need to know. We try to make that decision by 6 a.m., and they need to know at 6 a.m. what that day is going to look like for their families, making arrangements for childcare. So if we dismiss mid-afternoon, it can really be an inconvenience for families, and we might be putting those children in a situation where they're less safe than the weather situation because there might not be a parent at home. So traditionally that's not a decision we make. Certainly if we decided that it was in the overall best, overall for safety of students, we could look at that, but traditionally that's not been something that we've done.
And usually there's a couple of snow days built in, so if you're going to just let out of school, you've already got some figured in, and we only get a couple days a year. So
Absolutely.
usually.
We're very fortunate in our area of the state that we don't have to close school very often. And so we try to make the very best decision by 6 a.m. so that families can make child care arrangements, let their employers know. We try to be respectful of really what that does to all of Enid when we close school.
Now, is there ever a situation, like when we have a heavy snow or something, where you guys will go ahead and call school the night before? I mean, sometimes you see in Oklahoma City they'll say, more is out tomorrow or something. Do you guys, what takes into consideration to do that, or do you always wait until the morning of?
No, we do not always wait. It's difficult to make a decision based on the forecast. Certainly we consider that as part of the decision-making process. If we know the night before the conditions are not going to allow us to have school, we absolutely want to make that decision the night before for the same reason I just described. It gives parents that much more time to make arrangements. In fact, I'm always grateful when the snow comes in and it's very clear. As the person who makes those phone calls, I'm not real crazy about waking everyone up at 6 in the morning. So I love it when it's abundantly clear that that's what we need to do the night before. So anytime that we can, we do that.
Well, great. And a little bit of the controversy also that I saw on social media was with Oklahoma City now closing school due to low temperatures. I know a lot of people, I even on Enid Buzz did a little questionnaire, and I asked, did you leave your kids at home today, which was the day that, Enid Public Schools did have school, and there were several people that had left their kids home just due to the temperature, and what they were saying was, our kids have to wait at the bus and it's really cold, or some kids don't have coats. Is that anything in consideration that down the line you might consider, or is that just not even on the table for Enid?
That is part, again, of the overall picture of student safety. What we do also consider, though, we have to make that decision for 700 to 800 students, some of which may not have a safe place to be during the day, one place to be during the day, may rely on us for breakfast and lunch. But having said that, also very much respect the rights of parents to make that decision for their families. And I actually saw that poll that you did as well and read that with interest. And I'm a mom, and every day we make decisions for our kids, and as a school employee, I really respect that role of the parents.
Yeah, and that's, to me, I don't worry about it that much, because if I don't think it's safe, I'm not going anywhere. I don't care if they say schools are open or road conditions. If they're not okay for me, I don't go. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to take her out that day. So
yeah. So, and then another thing that I noticed that popped up today, it seems like Midwest City is going to start has started a policy where if there's a severe tornado threat, they may go ahead and cancel school just on the day that there's a really good chance of a tornado. Is that anything that's been discussed with the Enid Public Schools as of yet?
Well, I've just read preliminarily what the school district in Oklahoma City area, what they're considering. We are always looking at safety related issues and talking about that. We have safe school groups at our individual schools where parents, teachers and principals can give feedback. Obviously, our safety plans for tornado we looked at in great detail last year, especially after what happened in Moore. And so it's something that we continue to discuss. That discussion, even in the metro area, is kind of an early discussion. But we're always open to talk about safety of students, whether it be snow, whether it be tornadoes, whether it be other school safety issues. Definitely open to those discussions.
And who makes those decisions? Is that a school board, or is that superintendent and employees like you, or everybody together? Who makes those policy changes to the closings and stuff like that?
Actually, on a snow day, the superintendent and group members of the administrative team will actually drive and look at those.
Oh, really? So it's more than just Sean. Everybody blames it on Sean.
No.
So it's more than just Sean driving around.
Absolutely. There's a lot of input. A lot of the area superintendents actually talk with one another and get feedback about what they're experiencing when they're on the road. So no, I mean, ultimately, obviously the superintendent is responsible for the district and takes charge of the district, but he relies on the input of a lot of people who look at those conditions during the day.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I think that's all the questions we have as far as the school closings, unless you can think of anything else.
it's about anything else, we're getting into bigger issues there. We don't want to do that. Right?
We will wrap that up, and we will be back in a minute. And when we come back, we will ask Amber about the new search for the superintendent of schools. Back in a minute. We'd like to ask you about this big superintendent search. Can you tell us how that's going right now?
Absolutely. We are in the process, our Board of Education more specifically, is in the process of searching for the next superintendent of our school district. Mr. Heim is going to be joining the Oklahoma State School Boards Association team on April 1st. And so we are looking for someone to come and to lead our great school district. We are working with the Oklahoma State School Boards Association actually to assist with that search, which is very common for a lot of Oklahoma school districts. And so we're advertising regionally and also nationwide. And just today we released a community survey where we want to ask the people of Enid, what do you think we should be looking for in a school superintendent?
Well, that's great, because in some conversations that I had with some people, I know that some of the people that I was getting feedback from, they were really interested in, hey, can we hire somebody local that either grew up in Enid or has been here for years and years and really knows kind of the feel of the community and that. So are there possible candidates in Enid? Let me ask you, one of the questions I had for you, what are the qualifications of becoming a superintendent of schools?
Well, in the state of Oklahoma, and particularly for Enid, the rules are a little bit different. The law's written a little bit differently for the metro areas in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, but specifically for our situation and with our school district, you would need a superintendent certificate. And in the state of Oklahoma, this is really true both for superintendents and for teachers and other school employees. If you're certified outside of the state, you can work with our state department and become certified as well. So certainly there would be local people who are certified, as well as maybe some others outside of the state and throughout the state that would be interested in the position as well. One of the things that I'm most excited about is we've been able to make so much tremendous progress. We recently, as I'm sure your viewers are aware, we are at the process of completing $99 million worth of school improvements. We've added 2 new schools. We have a new university center, only the second of its kind in the state of Oklahoma. We've had more than $5 million of private money donated to our school system over the last 6 years. I'm very excited about the candidates that this position will attract, whether they be local or from someplace else, just because it really is a great district to be a part of.
Well, great. And speaking of construction and renovation and everything, I know I'm getting a lot of questions about the old gymnasium on the corner of Gary and Independence. Can you kind of tell everybody what's going on with that building right now?
Absolutely. The building you're referring to is right next to our current central office. So we are going to be, you just have lots of yes.
We've got people coming and going. We are at 580 Coffee House, so we just...
And they're open for business.
They are. Come on down, have a drink.
Place.
Everybody's invited on Mondays or Tuesdays to come sit behind us when we're filming. And anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
I apologize. I digress. I love it. I love the atmosphere. The building that you're referring to is actually located next to central office, where our administrative team and our support services are currently located. We're going to be actually opening an educational services center. As we are a growing district, we have about 7,800 students. We have about 1,400 more students than we had 5 years ago.
Wow.
So as you can imagine, also the support that we need to provide to our schools increases as well. We're actually going to be relocating into the building. We are so happy to be able to restore that building, particularly in its location with all the exciting things that are happening in downtown Enid. Then we have some other staff members who are actually in other locations that will be coming to move on to that campus with us as well. So we'll be able to repurpose that building and make better use of the space across the district.
So you're renewing, and then the place where you're at now, what's going to happen?
We'll have members of our staff who specialize with special ed services and some other things that we do for families that'll come and be in that building as well.
Yeah. And then there's another little building even behind that one, and is that becoming kind of a tech center?
Yes, our technology department was previously located. The building that we're now renovating, they previously called it home. And so the building behind us, which used to be our transportation department, but I understand the community trolley used to actually put in there. So we're also very happy to be able to keep it. But our technology team will actually be moving in there, and they serve the entire district, but that is a place like where the servers are located and their main office space, even though they serve all the schools.
Great. Well, another question I had for you is, we did get a lot of feedback on Facebook and social media, and people want to know how they can air their grievances or how they can give suggestions to the school district as far as what their opinions are on school closings and things like that. Is that something they need to talk to their neighborhood board member or come to a board meeting, or are there any special meetings coming up?
Well, there's actually complete list of things that you can do, because really the lines of communication should always be open and always be two-way. First of all, especially if you're a parent and there's a concern of some kind or something you want to suggest at the building level, I would very much encourage talking with the school principal, because they're really the one who is on site and can help make those changes and spend that day-to-day with your child. So that's really always a great place to start. And then also to contact people at central office over those respective departments.
Okay.
We have a Board of Education meeting as well that's the third Monday of every month. And they are an open public meeting, and there is audience to visitors on the Board of Education agenda. So that is an opportunity as well. We are actually going to be having an event next Tuesday that has a focus on public education in Oklahoma and in Enid. And what we're really going to ask those in attendance, and I'm going to be real specific with the information, if you wouldn't mind posting it for me on Enid Buzz.
We will post it on Enid Buzz, but go ahead and listen carefully.
It is next Tuesday the 25th from 6 to 7:30 in the Waller Auditorium. We are going to be having an event where we talk about policy and legislation that's impacting Oklahoma schools and children.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about school funding. For example, we receive about $300 less per student today than we did in 2009.
Oh, wow. No wonder we have to buy so many pencils and paper these days, I guess.
Yes. And we also have some concerns about the amount of testing that is taking place with students as well. So we want
Another concern.
Yes. So we want to talk with parents in the community and get their input and ask them, what do you think we can do to make schools even better in Oklahoma and in Enid?
So people that come to this meeting, they'll be able to speak out and give you their opinion at the meeting?
Absolutely.
So this is your opportunity, people out there, parents out there.
And we'll also be gathering some written feedback as well that we can take and kind of organize into ideas, programs, and kind of launch some new things as well.
Well, great. Sounds like there's just tons of stuff going on with the Enid Public Schools, and I think we've covered about everything so far. Any questions? Anything?
Well, it takes way too long. You know, the whole testing to the test.
Yeah.
The whole,
You
yeah.
come see us next
But I
Tuesday.
do.
We know Todd
and
is over here about to chomp at the bit, wondering why we don't spank in public schools anymore. But let's save that question for
cut that out.
for part two. And but we would like to thank Amber
Thank
Fitzgerald
you.
for being here. And we will take a break, and we will be back in a minute.
One of the things I learned most, which I didn't know, and Amber and I have talked about this several times before, of just being able to be involved and actually change things to make it better for your kids. The 25th, I believe, 6:30 at Waller. They're holding kind of a town hall meeting for Northwest Oklahoma, and definitely would be, if you want to get involved and if you have opinions about the way things are, want to change them, that's a great opportunity to stop griping to your friends and start getting in public and get something
Can
changed.
we film that?
Yeah, we
Take
might
it
be
out.
able to film that. I will post information on Enid Buzz, but this is for parents, and it's not just Waller parents, it's not just Enid Public School parents, it's Chisholm, Drum, and Garber. So everybody is invited. The more parents can get together, the more that legislation can be changed.
Yeah, to have our voices be heard.
Exactly.
Support, because we're not
You know, so don't just sit around and gripe about it. Do something about it.
Yeah.
This
So
is the
anyway,
perfect
we may be there and film it. Who knows? We'll talk about that.
All right.
Anyway, wrapping the show up, I just want to remind everybody to download the Enid Buzz mobile app. We are well over 2,700 downloads. If you want to advertise on it, buzz@enidbuzz.com. If you want to advertise on our show, buzz@enidbuzz.com. Don't forget the Facebook page. Don't forget enidbuzz.com, where we have the blog and all of our information. We also have enidbuzz.tv, where you're watching this great show.
Yay!
We've got Enid Buzz Real Estate, nicer weather. I'm going to be posting lots more house videos from all the companies, so stay tuned for that. That'll be a lot more lively this year. We're
Exactly.
getting ready to crank it up.
Be ready for a big Enid
Yeah.
real estate section. More information coming to you soon. And what are the guys at your home show up to?
Well, I don't know.
Well, we do know that Billy Bob showed up at one of the new Quick Tip episodes. So if you have not seen the Quick Tip episodes on enidbuzz.tv, hop over there and check out the dude named Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
I don't know
Are you guys
who.
related? Or?
We'll go over that.
Okay.
I'll get,
Okay.
yeah. There's a backstory. A bad backstory.
Okay, and I guess that wraps up episode 3, guys. Thanks for being here, and have no idea who we're talking to next week, but we will let you know. And in the meantime, we'll keep things buzzing.